Welcome to the official podcast of the Brewmasters Club, Craft Brews and Geek News. Sit back, pour yourself a pint, and let's get into it. Now here's the founder of the Brewmasters Club and your host, Donnie Gallagher.
We are on the air. Hello! Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Brewmasters Club podcast. This is Craft Brews Geek News. I'm here. My name is Donnie Gallagher. I'm the founder of Brewmasters Club. I'm joined today with Ryan Roberts. How are you, sir?
Doing very well, sir. How about yourself?
Doing great, thank you. And Mr. Dane.
Gentlemen, what's going on? I'm Dane, coming from North Carolina.
And Captain Louse Man.
I'm doing beard-tastic. How are all the men and women out there doing?
You're looking good, man. You look like a salty sailor, and you've got a sailor's cap and a big, nice. You need a corncob pipe and a little like glasses or something.
I'm feeling salty, so everything's gonna work out well. This is gonna be a good time.
Did you get a haircut?
I did. It's under the hat. You can't tell. It wasn't a beard cut, so, so that's on them.
Well, I like the hat. The hat plays, and so does your scruffy beard.
Aye.
So we are the official podcast of the Brewmasters Club. Once again, we are called Craft Brews Geek News. We are here to talk about national stories in regard to beer, in regard to geek news, in regard to technology, movies, Star Wars, all sorts of fun stuff that we love to talk about. Which is why you've got us here. I also just want to make a special comment today. This is our 10th episode, so we are still very much young in the podcast sphere. We've got 13 tracks on our channel. We've got 20 different countries listening to us, 170 plays just in a few short weeks. It's fantastic information, guys. So first off, thank you to everybody who supports us on YouTube. Thank you for everybody who downloads and listens to us on iTunes and Android and SoundCloud. Of course, we love everybody. Thank you just so much for being so supportive. This is fantastic, and we couldn't have done all this without you guys, and we appreciate every one of you. So thank you. We have a very busy agenda, so I'm going to try and move as fast as possible. I already apologize in advance for talking so fast and so quickly, but we have a lot to cover. First off, we have some highlights. So we'll go into our beer news, what is going on in the world of beer in terms of news, not just domestically here, locally in Tampa, Florida, or where we are, but around the world. Colorado, a little thing happened called the Great American Beer Festival. It is in its 30th year. 30 years of the Great American Beer Festival. So this festival was here before craft beer was a thing. A lot of respect for that, just because these guys are a group of passionate beer drinkers and beer makers that are not always the biggest guy or the largest breweries, but they are often judging beer every year for the last 30 on how true that beer is to the style. So they have a ton of different categories. Several more were added this year, which is pretty exciting because anytime we add new categories to this, it becomes more of an exciting competition. But a win at the Great American Beer Festival is huge. Winning gold, silver, bronze in any of this year's 96 categories can put a new brewery on the map, a brew pub in your fridge, new stock at Publix or your major grocer. It can really jumpstart a brewery both locally and nationally. And here at the Brewmasters Club, we are big fans of supporting local craft brewery, as you may or may not know. This year, 2016, was the largest number of participants ever. More than 7,227 beers were entered into the competition by 1,752 breweries. That is a shitload of beer. Out of all 50 states in the Americas, including the District of Columbia. So we don't go break it down because we could spend an entire podcast kind of talking about this, who won and what they won for. Again, ton of different categories. But there were different breweries that did really well here. A lot of them basking in the glow of what they won at the Great American Beer Fest. And some of them won some pretty remarkable things, as in small breweries that made a big impact. One of which, who won 2 gold medals, a silver and a bronze for completely, Uber Brew. Anybody ever heard of Uber Brew? Because I've never heard of it before.
That's that taxi service type of brewery, or
yeah, where they brew beer in the back of the
and you can do it from your smartphone. You can brew all the beer. You just swipe left, or I don't know.
Nope. You're crossing all the wires. That's
all right.
Okay.
I haven't heard
in the intranet.
Yeah, I haven't heard of them. Yeah. Okay, that's nice.
No. Oh, Jesus.
That's me. That's me.
Another likeness. Look at that.
Yeah.
Who's that guy there in that camera?
I think that's a bad guy from Scooby-Doo. That's a bad guy from Scooby-Doo. Just to be clear. I think Dane is suggesting, just for all the listeners who can't see exactly what's going on right now, Dane Mirt has placed a picture of a pirate with a ginger beard in front of the camera. So he's trying to say I look like a Scooby-Doo character, and I don't. I'm a real person. So I've been there, and I'm not a cartoon from, the 90s.
Scooby-Doo.
Yep. Nope.
Arr.
I'm a real person. I pay taxes. That's the thing.
And then he was also showing half of the actual picture of you, which is pretty amazing. Good job, Dave.
Yeah, I went picture in picture. That's appalling that I look like that. Just backward-eyed pirate.
Uber Brew out of Montana Avenue, Billings, Montana. I love the Uber Brew. I'm happy they got gold medals. I love gold.
As a ginger pirate, of course I would navigate to Billings, Montana.
Right.
I mean, that's exactly where I'd go to find my beer. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you got to go all the way on this.
Our YouTube viewers will love that. So just check us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe because that's fucking hilarious. All right, going back to beer news. There were a few more competition highlights. Some of those were that there were 464 first-time Great American Beer Fest competition entrants this year, and 41 of them won medals. So it's a great time to love craft beer. It's a great time to produce craft beer, and what a cool experience that would be. Hopefully, by this time next year, we will have live correspondents from the Great American Beer Fest. Ryan, you up for the trip? You want to go out there? Go visit some people in Colorado? Yeah.
I would love to do that, honestly. Yeah. Let's make a plan of it.
It'd be all of our subscribers and folks that can keep this podcast going to get some great content out there. So we will just have to wait and see if the budget allows. But I definitely suggest that at least a couple of us make it out there. Two of the so we had a top 3 states who won medals. Wyoming, 45 entries, 5 medals. Hawaii, 28 entries, 3 medals. Virginia, 200 entries, 14 medals. And then in 2016, they introduced a couple more categories. We had a pumpkin squash beer that was added. 4 new historical beer categories were added, including, and Dan, I might need your help for this, Finnish Sahiti, of course.
Right.
Okay. Swedish Gotlandstrik. Right. And pale and dark Brischlaus-slops?
Brischlaus-slops, yes.
Okay, yes.
I heard louse in there. I mean,
okay.
This one's really speaking to me.
And German licht beer. I got that one.
Yes.
Nailed it. And especially Saison. So, Dane, can you throw out some hashtags for the good people to follow as we continue tracking these new historical beer categories?
Hashtag Scharferschardar.
Perfect.
And Harvard Lichtenschneid, whatever. I don't know.
All right.
Hashtag.
3 F's in each one of those. Exactly how you think they're spelled. That's how a hashtag works, right?
Don't ask me how to spell
it.
Awesome. So hashtag those folks. Say keep tracking home. That's what you got to do to contribute.
Hey, Donnie, I got a question for you. What do you think goes into, like, when they're doing those different categories and things? What do you think goes into judging or awarding certain beers? What do you think that that everybody's looking for when they grade those to actually get an award?
So the Great American Beer Fest historically over the last 30 years is kind of, I hinted on it before, but it's they don't go off of, this actually tastes like a peach apricot IPA. What they do is they stick to styles. So when you say that you're going to make a double red or an imperial IPA, if you don't brew a beer that literally meets that criteria and is drinkable and is completely in that spectrum, then you will not win. You won't place, you won't do anything. So the way that this particular competition, opposed to anything else, judges their content is by the letter. So you'll see those, just like we talked about last episode with the German purity laws. If there's a Munich, lager or a Marzen, I mean, you're gonna the only one that's gonna win that is gonna be the one that is truest to the style. It has nothing to do with how drinkable or how light it is or how fun it is in the summertime or any of that kind of shit. It's literally, if you make a specialty saison, because that's one I can pronounce, it better damn well tastes like it. And if it doesn't, you will not make that competition. So good question, Ryan, but it's a unique competition and it's got a lot of merit. They do it every year, so I mean, it would be a hell of a time to go out there and be in Colorado and have those great minds, around, and that passion around craft beer, and just kind of experience it. So we'll have to do it one day. One day we will. So, you guys got anything else on the 2016 Great American Beer Festival, Laos, man? Sounds like you got something.
Well, I mean, it sounds like the beers are actually just being judged on their actual beer quality. They're taking nothing into consideration, sort of like a cutthroat kitchen type of situation, where they literally just don't care about your story. They're literally just looking at what kind of beer it is. I mean, that's all well and good, but I still think there's a little bit of pizzazz to do with like things like canning, things like labels, things like all that. So I don't know. I don't know how it would further certain beers. I mean, other than winning, or placing well in the competition and whatnot. But I guess I'm a fan of labeling, marketing. I don't know. Sometimes I buy beers because they're all about Florida. They have a specific message.
Yeah.
Kona and things like that. They're all, eyes black as a doll's eyes kind of thing. So that was for the beard. I had to get that joke in there.
Need a bigger boat. I get it.
Yeah.
He's a pirate.
Right. Well, nope, not a pirate. But in any event, I mean, yeah, it's. I just think they're taking all the gimmicks out of it, so that's cool.
I love it because this is the one competition every year that I look forward to because it's that simple. Ryan, I mean, you would appreciate this. A Craft Life could go in there and drop a beer that could win a gold, could win a bronze, could win whatever. And to the average consumer, like Laos said, it may not have a flashy label, it may not even be bottled or canned. It may just be a literal brew that they made and brought to this competition, but it could still win gold, which they don't win. It's the accolades aren't the same. It's not like you get a major sponsorship or a distributor contract or anything like that. But the fact that you can produce a beer that these clear experts understand as a true to the ladder style, or as the Blue is described, as they continually try to update their categories. I mean, those are the accolades that, as a beer drinker, minus the flashy stuff like the fun label and the Florida tie or the local piece of it, that's just something else that you can throw in your wheelhouse. So it's interesting, but I mean, that's a good point too, Laos. There's competitions for that, man, for sure. But this one is literally on the ladder of what kind of beer is this, and I think that's
the style.
Yeah, and it's important.
You brought up wheelhouses, and I could talk about those for days, but I mean, I'm gonna let that lie.
Sure. You're just gonna cast away off that joke?
Oh, nope. We're done. I'm out. I'm unplugging my headphones.
Anything else, Mr. Dane, on this one?
What I take from it is I want to see the ones that won gold, silver, bronze, and I want to go taste those beers and really get see what and taste what was put in the beer and really get a feel of what gold tastes like, I guess. Yeah. I'm looking at Uber Brews, their website, and they're the small brewing company and small brewing company brewer of the year. And gold, silver, bronze, and just seeing these beers on this list is I want to go through all of them and really point out the ones I want to try and really try them out and see what I feel, and then go off of beer festivals about.
Yeah.
And see if it's really worth gold in my eyes.
Yeah. Well, maybe we all grab a winner and talk about it next week for our what are you drinking, what are you gonna drink, because we've got a lot to talk about for that one as well this week specifically. So maybe that's what we hit for next week. But I agree with you. Absolutely. I think it's definitely something we should probably check out. All right. Well, without any further objections or any other comments, I am going to move into we're going to skip around a little bit and move into the what are you drinking, what are you going to drink, because I made such a big deal about the beer that I brought tonight. And we're going to do, why doesn't somebody else go first and then I'll go last?
I'll go before Donnie because I'm drinking something probably similar to him.
I'll go first.
All right, go for it, Lost Man.
Because I'll go first because I don't care about – I live in Florida, and I don't care what time of year it is. I don't care where we are, and I don't care what's going on. I care a little bit about where we are, but I've got against my own personal preference, I have a Three Daughters Brewing. I have the
Bimini Twist
IPA.
I have that in my fridge right now.
It is delicious.
You like that?
Yeah, I actually do. I'm a huge fan of it. So again, I don't mean to be this guy, but it's for a label on a can. It's got a mermaid tail. I don't know. It's got a mermaid tail. The whole thing is a tail. It references Bimini. It's got, talk of the sea on the actual can itself. I'm not trying to be gimmicky here. I'm quite literally saying that, being in Florida, I wanted a Florida beer, and I'm like, that kind of looks like it's from the Keys. So I gave it a whirl. That wasn't a hurricane joke, but I do taste a little bit of citrus in it, which, again, is something that I keep harping on. I keep coming back. Apparently, that's something that I'm realizing that I enjoy in my beers, like a little bit of citrus.
A lot of IPAs. Yeah, IPAs are always going to be citrusy.
I keep gravitating towards or to those, but nice for a pale ale. It's actually really good. 7.0 on the ABV. So again, it's another one that'll get the job done. But a little hint of citrus, but overall good hoppy taste, and I've got no issues whatsoever. So
fantastic. Excellent. Well, good. I'm glad you like that one. I do. I have their IPA, the Bimini Twist. I have the red. I have the stout. I'm holding it for Ryan. I have the blonde, and I have the red. I think I mentioned that. I have 4 different of the 3 hours in my fridge right now, just waiting for us to tap into them. So,
of the 4 of us, I feel like the red may need to go to one of us.
All right.
For YouTube video.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. I don't know.
Just stroke of the beard. All right. Didn't play out well. Continue.
Ryan, get us out of this hole. Captain Segue.
All right, guys. I'm here with the Terrapin right here from Athens, Georgia. The Liquid Bliss Chocolate Peanut Butter Porter. And I can tell you that as soon as I opened it, poured it right into the cup, I could smell peanut butter, smell the chocolate notes, and I can't wait to have an actual taste of it because it's the first one I've had ever.
It's so good, man. It's very good. It's one of the best peanut butter. I mean, it's one of the best porters I've had. Yeah.
Holy crap. Wow. You need to sip on it for a while.
Imagine sitting by the fire or something outside, like in a jacuzzi or something like that, man. It's a nice, like, cool time weather beer. It's wonderful.
It's really perfect, for this time of year, and I can only imagine what it would be like if I actually followed it up with a nice pumpkin beer as well. Just, go backwards and forth all night. But fantastic beer. If you haven't had it yet, I definitely hope that you get a chance to get your hands on one of those.
Yeah, out of Terrapin in Athens. It's so good.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Dane, what do you got over there?
Yeah, so I got myself a Ballast Point Pumpkin Down Ale. It's their Scottish Down Ale. And I actually have it in my growler here. From my local grocery store, they have a beer garden.
That is awesome.
I can go fill up my so I can go to the grocery store with this growler that I bought for $4. I can go fill it up with 8 different beers on tap at any given point. So I go in there, they got a list of 64 ounces, 32 ounces. Of course I got the 64. So it gives me the price of what it is. This time I went with, it's called Ballast Point Scottish Down Ale. I know I said that. They're from California. What I got from this pumpkin ale, and I'm new to pumpkin beer, so I kind of jumped the gun on this. She let me taste it, so I was like, that tastes pretty damn good. So let me go ahead and get it. 2 glasses down, I find it really smooth and very easy to drink. There's pumpkin flavor, there's cinnamon flavor, kind of like a brown sugar. taste to it. It's weirdly light and refreshing. And I was nervous about pumpkin beers because I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
I drink my coffee with the pumpkin spice, and that's pretty good. But the beer, I was like, I don't really know. But this one's really good. At first taste, it kind of reminds me of a Dr. Pepper. It's kind of weird, or like a flat Dr.
Just a
Pepper.
spice. It's like a spice. It's got a spice.
Yeah, just a.
Yeah.
And Scottish pale or Scottish ales are really spicy, but this one's not too spicy, so I really like it.
Good.
The profile is really well with the Scottish pale ale, I think, but not too spicy, like I said. It's really good, and I'm down in this really quick. So, I know, Donnie, you got some pumpkin rolling around over there. So let us see what it is. But
let's see the great pumpkin.
So this, first off,
it's not Halloween Town though.
No. So first off, everybody out there listening, you guys included, just take a seat back and let me open up your earballs here and let me take you down a path, because we're gonna walk down a story here of how this beer came to be. And there's a couple caveats to this, one of which, for those here that are YouTube viewing, you're gonna see something very nostalgic come into frame here that we're gonna talk about later. For those who are not watching on YouTube, following us on Android or iTunes, I have a Millennium Falcon beer opener that a very good friend of mine gave me, Miss Julie, and we will get back into this when we hit the geeky news section. But as Dane kind of hinted, what I have today for us to talk about, folks, is the Rogue Pumpkin Patch Ale. Now, as my memory serves me correct, this is one of my favorite pumpkin beers that I've ever had in my entire life. Plus, look at that bottle. Again, poor radio, but it is painted orange as a pumpkin. It's got a delightful little image of some pumpkins in the front there. And it says right here, brewed with Rogue Farm fresh pumpkins. It's a 750 milliliters, so it's a big girl here, and I've been staring at it since I sat down today. Actually, since I spoke with Ryan last Friday, and I picked this up at the store. I was tempting him that I wouldn't be able to wait until it came to today to talk about it with you great folks listening to us on the podcast. But I am going to take my Millennium Falcon bottle opener and crack this bad boy open. Let's get some audio here if we can. Not that kind of audio.
Why would he want to? You led with lasers.
In a galaxy far, far away. Rogue One. Just kidding. Rogue Pumpkin Beer.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Rogue One, my friend. Oh man, so I just poured it while I was kind of trying to get some of that audio on, and it just happened to be right in front of my face, and it smells like someone just stuck a pumpkin pie literally in your face. It was
Fat Gap.
Dude, it's absolutely amazing. So what I did was I kind of grabbed one of my pirate. This is for Laos. It's a pirate-themed snifter glass here that I pour out with about 2 fingers of foam on there to release that aroma, that bouquet, kind of get some of those flavors moving around. Again, you can't see this on the podcast, but it is a nice cherry kind of orange-red color. It's not brown, but it's not red, and it's certainly not orange. But man, what a beautiful beer! Yeah, what a beautiful beer. It's in that ruby red category, but oh, it smells amazing. I'm going to give it just a few more seconds before I take a sip. But in the meantime, let's walk down a road here, friends, and let me explain to you how this beer came to be. Close your eyes, sit back, pour yourself a beer, enjoy this. This is the Pumpkin Patch Ale, and it is here, guys, for the moment this year. It's from Rogue Ale and Spirits. They announced the Rogue Pumpkin Patch Ale brewed fresh with pumpkins grown in harvest in Rogue Farms in Independence, Oregon. Just think about that for a second. These pumpkins were grown for this specific reason, harvested for this specific reason, and prepared in such a way that developed into a 6% alcohol, 25 IBU, just a beautiful looking beer, and one of my favorites. The Pumpkin Patch Ale can only be brewed when Mother Nature deems it necessary. Rogue Farms Dream Pumpkins, they ripe and they grow, and these little orange gourds turn deep orange in color, and their sweetness has peaked from the warm Oregon summer. That is when Mother Nature says The good folks at Rogue Ales can actually pluck these little bad boys out of the harvest and make this beer. It begins in the dirt at Rogue Farms. 1 acre of dream pumpkins is planted in late spring alongside the Rogue Farm hops, jalapenos, marionberries, and buzzing honeybees. As soon as they were picked, the pumpkins were driven to Rogue Brewery in Newport, Oregon, just a few short 77 miles away, where the pumpkins were hand-chopped, seeded, roasted in pizza ovens, and then pitched fresh into the brew kettle, along with vanilla bean, ginger, cardamom, cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, and orange peel. Then they create this perfect pumpkin ale. Was that not beautiful? Did that not sound beautiful?
It was a lot of alliteration, but I liked it.
Building up the taste.
It's just the right amount of flavor. It's just the right amount of taste. It's so, Ryan, in comparison to Craft Life, it smells like a pumpkin pie. It doesn't taste like a pumpkin pie. It tastes almost like it was gonna be that, and then they pulled back on the sweetness. So it tastes a little bit more like an ale, but it finishes clean and it leaves you with that nutmeg kind of pumpkin pie, like a piece of pumpkin pie would. It kind of leaves you with that on your tongue. It's a fullness, it's a richness, but it's not by any means overbearing.
So is it like the pumpkin pie with the clove in it? Like with a clove finish?
There's definitely a clove finish, but even when you're drinking it just in your mouth, it's sweet, it's light, it's not heavy, and it's not overbearing. But I'm speaking now, and I can literally smell or feel the taste of it, and it's just lovely. It's just a great flavor for a great pumpkin beer. So plus I keep going back to that bottle. Wow, so you were talking about labels, man. What do you think about this, dude?
That one definitely does it for me. I mean, honestly, if I was in the hocus pocus type of spirit, I would see that thing, and I actually think I did see that thing before you got a hold of it, or I saw one similar and thought, man, like if I was trying to get into the Halloween spirit, that's how you get into the Halloween spirit.
Yeah, man.
You go ahead and drink you one of them.
Allows fear to get in the Halloween spirit.
I think Please watch us. Subscribe to YouTube so you can see this anarchy. God damn.
I'll do you a solid, all you fans out there.
It's too good. It's too good.
ARG is pretty much the hashtag for that one. But no, I'm not a pumpkin. I'm not a pumpkin. I'm not the great one.
Louse is a pumpkin. Let's start that. Hashtag Louse is a pumpkin.
You don't need to start anything.
Ryan, I saw you tweeting. Go ahead.
No. Ryan, shove your phone in the garbage. No one needs to.
I'm just here. I'm just listening.
Yeah, no one needs a hashtag the fact that my face is orange. I mean, we don't need to do that when I grow a beard. I mean,
hashtag Louse is a pumpkin.
All right. So that's not a real thing because I'm a person and I drive a car. So, and have a job.
So I didn't want to monopolize on it.
Person.
I didn't want to monopolize on it, but again, fantastic beer. So I highly suggest you guys check it out. If you're looking for liquid pumpkin pie, I'll tell you this much right now, it is not that. If you're looking for the ideal pumpkin ale, the good folks at the Great American Beer Fest would probably agree. This is a great pumpkin ale. And the fact that it's made locally with local ingredients that they grow themselves, is something to be said. So good for Rogue Ale. Good for the Rogue Segway. We'll get back to that in a second. But definitely check it out. So any other further thoughts on what we're going to drink? What are we going to drink? What did we drink? I don't know. Whatever it is.
I had actually, to be completely honest with you, leave this in or leave this out, but I'm extremely upset with myself. I stopped by the Craft Beer Cellar in Brandon, Florida, and got 4 wonderful beers and drank all of them profusely, and then was stuck with whatever I could find at Publix today. And feel free to leave this out, but very upset with myself because I was super excited about a Ballast Point beer that the Dorado that I could not find at my local Publix. So that's a thing.
Yeah, well, that's what you're going to drink. That's okay. And I'm excited for you to try that double IPA. I think it's going to be badass. I was telling Ryan just a bit ago, I have like 5 different beers in my fridge too that I'm like not drinking for this very reason so that we can talk about it. But then I'm like, every time I go to talk about it, we have like an hour and a half worth of podcast, so it doesn't ever make it to air. But one day it will. One day. So, okay. If you guys have nothing else, we can move on to our next segment, which is going to be app and local news. We good?
I'm good.
10-4.
Good.
So again, so what we always like to do is just remind folks that our app is out there on the iTunes market. Of course, you can grab us here on the iTunes store for the podcast. Our podcast is free on Android and iTunes. We are on FeedBurner. We are on SoundCloud. We are on YouTube. The app is on the iTunes store, and we are our whole existence here is to help inspire people to drink more beer. Drink different beer, drink local beer. It doesn't matter what you drink. If you want to try Ballast Point or Sierra Nevada or any other thing that's out there, or some of these great beers that came from the American Great Beer Festival, it's great. Just do it, try it, enjoy it. If you don't, try something else. That's the whole point, and that's what we are here for. We would love for you to tell us what you do like, what you don't like. Not just about this podcast, because I'm sure everybody hates it, but it's really about the beers. What do you like? What don't you like? Let us know. Spark some conversation, because we'll talk about it. We'll bring it up here, and if we can, we'd love to have some community feedback. We are driven by the community. We are impacted by our beer loving community, and we appreciate when you guys do reach out to us. So please let us know what your thoughts are. Moving on to the geeky section, we have a lot to cover here as well. In the geeky news, first thing that I saw today, or this week at least, was a release date for one of Dane and I's most favorite video game franchises, Mass Effect. So Dane, I know that you probably have been tuned into this a little bit. We've got March 27th coming from a release date leak. Mass Effect Andromeda, my friend. What are your thoughts? Because I have some of my own. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I'm excited. The main reason I'm excited is because I felt disrespected by Mass Effect 3.
Really?
And the ending that they gave us. Now I know they gave us a DLC to kind of change it up a bit.
Yeah.
But I was, the story, the player that's really into the story, really into the game, I felt like it was a disrespect. Nothing the path you kind of went down didn't turn out the way it should have. And I think that was a really bad thing on their part. Effect 3. So if they can get away from that, and I think they are, because different characters, they're fleeing the Milky Way, all that good stuff. I'm really excited for what they're going to bring. I've read a few articles. They say they're excited. They say the players are going to be delighted, which that word you don't really see much for new games is delightful.
Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting. If it's going to play the same, great, because I love the way Mass Effect plays right now. And another big thing, and I played with you, Donnie and Laos, multiplayer.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the multiplayer, and I didn't think I would.
Yeah.
Being, third person, kind of funky. It's not your first person shooter game. But I really jumped into it and really enjoyed it when we played together on 360. So
yeah, no,
we'll see,
and I'm excited for it too. I think
see.
that so when I get my PS4, we can game on and we can hit it up that way. I think that'll be a good time, reminisce on 5, 6, 7 years ago at this point. But there was some things that the typical Mass Effect guy would get pissed off over that. See, I was brought into the series I played the first one all the way through, skipped the second one, went to the third one. You played 1, 2, 3 all the way through, so I could see why you kind of have that opinion. In terms of graphic ability and the guns and the action and stuff like that, I thought Mass Effect 3 kind of accomplished all that in terms of promising a good gameplay experience. And then, yes, the multiplayer was fun, though through repeated playability, it wasn't exactly there for me, but it was fun enough to where we get, drunk, have a couple of craft beers, and we could definitely hang on some Mass Effect gaming on with multiplayer. So it was fun. And we got lost into it a little bit, Laos, man. I know you were on the cusp there towards the end of us all kind of playing. Ryan, you were not, but Laos, man.
I'm still hanging on to my PS3, so
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Lost Man, what are you thinking about a new Mass Effect that deviates from the Jack Shepherd and he kind of goes off into his own thing? I mean, do you think this is going to be cool? I mean, what were your takes from playing the game as little as you did?
Yeah, so absolutely, is it a good game? Like Mass Effect 3, I'm only referring to. It was actually wonderful to play. Like, I enjoyed every single time that we all played together and things like that. What was the downfall is like I've got a lot of planets that are in my mind. I got a lot of solar systems and things like that to think of. So I just quite literally didn't have time for another one. But when I did play it, it was fascinating. And the more research I do on the Mass Effect universe, I mean, it was, not to toot some horns here, which might come out weird after I'm finished talking, but there was some weird things done with Mass Effect. I mean, there was the first girl-on-girl kiss in a video game, which is the only reason I bring that up is because it was mentioned in a YouTube thing where it got banned in some areas. And so for a video game
all
to be
the
banned,
right areas.
Okay, that's furthering the negative
we got the
everything about all that.
Spit take from Dane.
Dane just spit take. Okay, that's wonderful. I'm glad that happened on air. But honestly, I mean that did happen. Like I'm not making any of this up because I have a very limited spectrum, but that actually did happen. So that certain areas did actually reject that as a video game, which is ridiculous. I mean, but to keep politicalness out of everything, honestly. It's a cool game. It was really neat. I like all the weird stuff that they did, and the multiplayer is pretty fun. So it would be awesome if they could just get this out more, and in a newer Xbox, PS4, whatever. It however you can get it, just get it. Like just dial in and get that. So that's a fun game. I like that series.
Did anybody else finish Mass Effect 3? The campaign.
I did, yeah.
Donnie, did you finish?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
I finished it all 3 ways or whatever you can do. I finished it 3 different ways.
I YouTubed it once.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hated the ending.
Yeah.
I just thought, did you save the Geth? Did you save the Quarians? Who cares? The fleet's destroyed.
Yeah.
Rannoch has been obliterated. The game felt like, or that, the campaign felt like, it promised me that I would take back Earth and save everybody, but you don't. The world you fought for was gone.
Spoiler alert.
That comes actually.
This game's
usually, typically, that comes before all the things. just throwing it.
Was Shepard? Did you play a Paragon? Doesn't matter. You're the galaxy's worst criminal. Like all your personal choices were totally ignored.
Yeah.
Just. Overall, good game, I guess, but the ending just destroyed it for me. So if they can come back with a vengeance, they're on Frostbite.
Yeah.
I love Battlefield. So Frostbite engine, it's incredible. If they're gonna run with it, the only issue I'm having, March 2017.
Yeah.
This guy becomes a daddy.
Woo!
In March. So it's like, am I going to be able to play? I don't know. We'll see.
Nope.
You'll have some time in between nappies. You will. You'll have some time.
Yeah.
Those will be diaper changes. No. Well, absolutely not.
Ryan, I'll go to you for final thoughts, just because I know that you weren't much of a player in it. But Dane, just to your point, they did some fan service by offering that DLC and changing things. I mean, a game manufacturer doesn't have to do that. So they said that, hey, we understand that we left you guys hanging and we're sorry. Here's what we had to offer for it. So
they did that because of Fallout 3 as well, because Fallout 3 was terrible. And
so I
digress.
I'm willing to give them some faith, but that's all. So we'll see what happens in March. Ryan, did you have anything on this video game that you never played? No. Okay.
Were the labels too bold?
Just know the original ending, it was confusing and it lacked closure. That's all I can say.
It was like the first Facebook. It was just awful.
It's like life. Okay.
So Ryan, since we've kind of left you out of that conversation for the last 10 minutes, and I apologize, but I really had to bring it up for Dane because that is very timely. That release date of March 27, 2017 was just released, and it was probably a leak. They honestly said, hey, the audiobook's going to come out at the same time as the game does on the 27th of March.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second, nobody knows that yet. Shit. So everybody hit the panic button, but I'm sorry for leaving you out of that. Since, buddy, you were one of the only people to have tapped into this WestWorld piece, again, which is very relevant and very interesting. Would you like to kind of go over the premise and lead us into this segment or a little bit of the topic that we can about WestWorld? I don't know if you had that much ready to go or not, and I can kick it or supplement what you have to say. But since you and I are basically the only ones that have seen this phenomenon that is WestWorld, the show on HBO, I kind of feel like you should kick us off.
Yeah, no, I had a chance to watch the first 2 episodes the other day. And my first reaction was I was intrigued. It was
I knew you would be.
It was a world of fantasy blended with a world of reality where, real people go to this, I don't know what you would call it. Like
it's a game.
I don't even know if it's a virtual world because everything to them is.
It's an amusement park.
Yeah, it's a game. It's an amusing park. Yeah. Amusing part is a good one.
And everybody is, able to live out their own sort of destiny and fantasy within this world, mixed with this artificial intelligence, if you will, these man-made beings.
Hosts.
They play these roles, they play these parts, and every day it's almost like a reset. You get new people coming in, and some people are there forever, but the interesting part that episode 2 really touches on, and if you haven't seen it, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
This artificial beings that real men have created start recalling past experiences or past storylines that they played part of for all of these years, and they almost become conscious.
Yeah,
which is weird.
Yeah, self-aware.
I don't know if this is better than watching the show. Is having Ryan freeball it and just it's kind of like this. Like I don't
think of it this way.
This
is the gentleman who created WestWorld also created 3 other movies. It was based off a movie, but
what's one of those movies? Waterworld.
He also created.
If he created Waterworld, I'd be like, okay.
Jurassic Park. Yeah, so the same guy who did Jurassic Park. So it's the same exact thing. Yeah. So you have Jurassic Park, and you have dinosaurs.
No expense.
Yeah,
did they spare no expense? Is that where you're going with that?
Dinosaurs.
Is this the most expensive sitcom to run?
Godspeed.
All right, so think of WestWorld like this. WestWorld, the hosts of WestWorld are dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, and they're here to kill you and eat you because you created them.
I've not
and
even
they hate
watched
you for that.
the show, so I'm kind of believing what you're saying, but it's the worst thing I've ever heard. I mean,
it's it's based off a 1973 movie. Like,
were those raptors in the kitchen trying to cook food? I mean, did they stumble upon the kids? I don't know. This isn't on me.
Hold on.
We're into a whole other thing. This is a bigger issue. This is a real big issue.
Stop. Okay. Anyone that's not seen this show is very confused at this point. So stop. You interrupted Ryan. Please let. Okay, so you're the guy that we're trying to stop. So stop it. Let Ryan continue with his explanation. Basically, what he's trying to get at here is the pinnacle of what the show's about. It's taken the human psyche in a time where when human ailments were basically resolved and there were no sickness or anything like that. What did people do for fun? How did they express themselves or live out their fantasies? They went to this world for an exorbitant amount of money, and they could literally shoot somebody, hook up with a prostitute, do whatever they wanted to because it was all in this controlled, safe environment. So I think the progression of this show is going to really challenge kind of what humanity is currently, where the future of humanity kind of can go, and then, explore some of those topics that are really on the cusp of being, kind of crossing that line where it's a little bit It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit, kind of
It's a little risque.
a little risque, a little out there. It's kind of Game of Thronesy meets, Minority Report or something like that. Meets Game of Thrones or
Gamer.
No, Hunger Games, because it's all created like in a fake environment. So it's very bizarre. But Ryan, we did cut you off, man. So did you have some additional thoughts on that?
I enjoyed the entertainment. It was good stuff. I was gonna build it up to this point where almost in this deep philosophical realm, which I'll try to keep it really light there. It's almost like these artificial beings, these hosts, if you will, that are becoming conscious have been controlled in a way for so long, because obviously they're artificial intelligence. They've been given certain purposes for so long, and now with them becoming conscious, it's almost like this set up world, this controlled world, is going to become a chaotic world where, if you draw correlations to our own reality, nothing is going to be safe. Everything is not going to be scripted as they've written these. I mean, some of these artificial intelligent beings have played 10 or 20 different storylines, and they have 1,000 people in this world. These 1,000 hosts in this world, are all connected to different things. You listen to the first one, they're like, "You want to shut down 200 of them?" And he's like, "Think of how many storylines you're going to mess up." So I think it's really intricate. I don't know if it's going to be the thing that HBO wants it to do, which is to take over. I'm pretty sure this is the show they want to take over, Game of Thrones, because
sure, yeah,
a few more short seasons of that, as we all heard. It's definitely an appealing show to a lot of people. It's not the zombie world like we're going to hopefully talk about next week or in the coming weeks with The Walking Dead, but it's definitely something really interesting. It's definitely crafted very well. So
I knew you'd have a good idea and talking points on it, just because I like the way that you kind of position yourself. So I thought that'd be interesting to hear your insight on it. So I'm glad that you got a chance to check it out. It is a pretty cool show. Is the next Game of Thrones the next phenomenon? I don't know. It's probably honestly it's probably too complicated to catch.
Got a lot of sex in it, I'll tell you that.
It's got a lot going on though. A lot of blood, a lot of guts, a lot of sex, a lot of different stuff. But it's probably too higher end in terms of technicality to really catch on. But it's got Anthony Hopkins. Before you go too much into it, I was going to give a shout out. If anybody out there listening is a Boondock Saints fan and you've seen and are a fan of Boondock Saints 2, Romeo is in the show. So there you go. Is he Paulo Lies? Because if you've also seen Lost, Paulo Lies is in it. He's a gangster and he's pretty awesome. Paulo Lies is the man.
Which one?
His name was Paulo in Lost, but really, as Paulo Lies. At least that's what me and my wife call him, Paulo Lies, because that's what they called him at the end of Lost.
Paulo Laus?
Lies.
I feel like nope. I feel like one of those. Yeah, no, one of those was
Dane.
My name.
Any final thoughts on WestWorld before we move on?
I think I've said enough about WestWorld. It's like Jurassic Park, but with cyborgs.
See, now that I would have appreciated before we got real. I mean, that hooked me. I was like, wait a second, without the dinosaurs?
So it's a part. All right, so, I've explained it. But what I would like to see is if they're going to do WestWorld and then they're going to change it to the other two lands.
Waterworld.
Based off the two movies.
Medieval land and Roman world or whatever.
Medieval land, yeah. So medieval and like you said, I think.
Why would they not? I'm telling you right now. Why would they not?
I mean, they're recreating it, so it's gonna happen.
And there's also just imagine how much more havoc a guy like the Man in Black in that current episode can go do. It's even more animalistic. It's even more raw. It's even more dangerous.
I've watched a short video clip, so I'm pretty much an expert.
Yeah, right. You're a pro. I get it. You're professional.
Semi-pro.
And you're on a podcast. I mean, you know some things.
Yeah, you've got to.
Yeah, so
legally.
And I'm drinking a lot of beer, so
good. So obviously a pro.
Based off the movie and what I've seen is you kind of
my professional opinion.
You'll know it. You'll know what's going down. The cyborgs are going to turn, and it's going to be fun.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Extreme. Game of Thrones, they announced season 8's the last season.
Yeah.
So they really need HBO needs another show.
Yeah, they do.
To really kick butt. So this might be the show for it.
Well, let's see what the differences are. You've got major plot twists, sex, blood, gore. It's the same show. It's the same exact show. We need more dragons in WestWorld, but that might come in medieval world. Who knows?
There you go.
Khaleesi just shows up and lords the place.
I was gonna say maybe somehow this world connects with Game of Thrones. Maybe it's just all interconnected. We're just like in one big.
I would hate that if it was a shared universe. Well, let's go ahead.
It's all the dream, is actually what Ryan's trying to say. But no, my thing was that just now we're done. Yeah, let's move on. You can just zap that right out.
No, it's staying in. Good thing. No,
though. You don't need to leave it in. No, I had a whole bit. I wasn't even going to get into it, but then I got sidetracked and I'm out.
Get into it.
All right.
Ow. We're
so
done.
You really are the ghost from Scooby-Doo.
Jeez Louise. I'm not a ghost. I'm not on Scooby-Doo. I'm a real person.
Who is the real you? No.
Would you like this? Dane, will this shut you up? Dane, give me like 30 seconds, all right? So
okay.
Just leave this place. Like, is that gonna?
I hate you, Scooby-Doo.
This is definitely not staying in. This is not staying in because this is terrible radio.
These are the parts that should stay in. I don't know where you're going with what you're doing.
YouTube.
Yeah, this is a YouTube exclusive.
Oh, great. So I get to edit both. I get to edit two different versions. Perfect.
It is, Donnie, we call them exclusives, all right?
It's not as bad.
YouTube exclusive. Done. End of deal. Sell it.
It's not as
Put
bad
that noise. Put that noise in.
Robert's text.
Yeah.
What's up there? What's up there?
Mush mouth.
Oh, he's trying. Dang, stop showing pictures of louses.
Okay, that's funny.
You showed a picture of Ariel that was a bearded Ariel.
That's what
really
Ryan
bad radio.
That's Ryan.
I get it. Yeah, but he didn't show it. He saved the listeners and didn't show it. So please.
Oh, but he didn't put it in the fucking messenger. That's on me.
It's for the viewers.
We are moving on.
Viewers.
We are moving on. So we're gonna move on to another piece of geeky news. Man, every single segment has just dragged ass. I apologize for everyone. I had no idea we had so much content for all of these pieces.
A lot of tent coming at you.
The next piece that we have right here, my friends, is in regard to Star Wars.
It's an actual piece.
It's an actual piece. No, I just I like to bring up the Millennium Falcon bottle opener because I freaking love it. All right. So first off, we have an actual Star Wars story. Very interesting, very cool stuff. But more importantly, just what this morning? I think it was this morning. Was it yesterday? No, it was this morning.
This morning,
Rogue One launched their second trailer. So now the dialogue begins. First off, let's talk about the trailer. Way more story, Way more story.
Yes.
It explains everything. It kind of explains why Jyn is the way she is, what happened with her dad, why Krennic is such a fucking asshole. She wakes up in jail next to a spaghetti face monster. It's really crazy. But you see the Death Troopers, you see the dominance of the Empire over the planet of Jakku, or I'm not sorry, Jakku, but Jeddah or whatever it was they were on. You see the rebels kind of breaking in to grab her. She's traveling somewhere in a rebel base. I mean, this covers everything, guys. Like, literally, it unleashed the beast. So give me some initial thoughts. Like, who was blown away by this? I certainly was. I mean, I had a good idea of the story, but this was amazing,
This really opened my eyes, and I don't know if I really wanted to see this.
Right.
I know we talked about this in prior podcasts with Star Wars, is, I don't really want to know.
Yeah.
But this kind of laid it all out.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see what was not in the trailer, but it's going to be in the movie that will like blow your mind.
Yeah.
So I'm really intrigued if something's going to really blow my mind.
It's got to.
Based off this trailer, it's like I know it has to because this trailer, I feel like
it walked you through the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But Donnie, I will give you credit. Is it does seem like there's going to be a lot more Darth Vader than what I thought.
Fuck yeah, man.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. My dog Vades, he's coming in. Like he's gonna be hot and heavy. He's gonna hit it hard.
Yeah.
Lost Man, give me some thoughts.
Just first off, my dog Vades. That's super dope.
Hashtag my dog Vades. What's up?
All right, continuing on.
Ryan, tweet that.
Yeah. Spin it out. Nope. Right now, immediately. Just tweet on out. But moving forward here, however Twitter works, it was I'm really scared actually. Now that you guys said that.
Scared? Why?
I'm terrified. Like, what if that is the Rogue One movie? Like, what if they do their thing and then that comes no, I don't want that at all. I want like a Marky Mark Wahlberg style, just like I want to be like
co-op.
Yeah, I want to be like, you do the math, like, some sort of Goodwill Hunting. Like, what do you want from me? Like, I mean, I want that to happen. I want to have no idea what's going on during this whole movie. And at the end, I want to be like, oh man, I'm so glad no tiny child ruined this while I was in the bathroom. Like, that's what I want.
Here's the thing, though. First off, you're doing a Massachusetts resident as a bearded man, red-haired, with the sailor's cap on. Secondly,
I should be selling it.
You know exactly what happens because you've seen episode 4, so you know exactly what happens. No surprise there. The story is building up there. What are the intricacies that are going to weave into this tale that get us to that point? That's why to in between what you
and the characters.
Yeah, the characters that you're gonna fall in love with and then realize that they all have to pass away by the end of this episode.
Yeah, that's what I don't want right there immediately. I don't want to know that every single one of these people immediately needs to die within an hour and a half time. Like, I don't want to be like, and Apple Watch, go. All these people are gonna die. Like, I'm not gonna do that because first off, I don't own an Apple Watch or an Apple computer or an iPhone, but also I'm not going to do that for all the other reasons. So,
Ryan, well, I know you took a look at this trailer too, man. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were, I think it's going to be a very exciting movie. And then I was sitting there at work before I was actually working, and I was watching it, and I was like, man, I really wish I knew more about what this movie was going to be about, because, I get to be the lucky one that doesn't actually know really what's going on. So I get to be taken by surprise a little bit. But I did see the tail end. I think Dane had hinted at it in one of the podcasts that we had talked about this particular movie coming out. And then you do get to see a little bit of Vader walking down the ship. And I did appreciate that. So kind of.
It's funny because so we've talked about it in the past, and then when Dane saw that, he said, "Okay, yeah, I guess you missed more Vader there." But honestly, like, it's straight speculation, bros. Like it's literally just, I'm hoping that we're gonna get a very heavy hand from Vader. It doesn't necessarily mean that we will. It's just they have to, like, I feel like they have to. I feel like they will. I feel like they're going to. I just don't know.
He's in at least 3 scenes.
Yeah, we know that.
Guaranteed.
We saw 3 costume changes. There was black, and black.
They're just like power walking through that smoke to her dad, who was there in the middle of this room. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. Like, that guy's dead.
Yeah.
Like,
he's clearly not, though. I mean, you don't know he's dead because he's bleeding tears. Right?
So
I mean,
all right, so
wait.
That's the story. That's my question is, how does her dad, obviously he's the mastermind behind the Death Star, but at the end, is he trying to help his daughter? Is he a bad guy now? Has he,
I think he's
why is Darth Vader storming out of the smoke to his face?
Because they get him back.
You mofo.
Yeah, because they get him back. That's why.
Yeah. So
they go on a quest to find him. They grab him. They steal him back. They have him. That's where they get the plans. So that's why she's running.
The plans on the floppy drive. In his head. Are they on the floppy drive or are they in the dad's head?
Somehow they get to the floppy drive.
Are we still using floppy disks? I need to know how many floppy disks. Are we talking USBs? Are we talking USBs? Or are we talking floppy disks? Like, what's going on here? Because I got FireWire on my stuff, so
I got a question.
I think they have like a Donnie's Iron Man USB. Is it Iron Man or?
Oh, it was Iron Man. I don't know where he is.
I bought that for him.
Miles did buy it for me.
Yeah, I really did. Because I also bought
He's like Tony Stark's. Tony Stark has all the knowledge I need to build the Death Star.
Yes. He's got some of the beer
that
you need some beer.
Okay. Besides your hypothetical bullshit, Ryan, you had a question?
Is Yoda in this one?
Absolutely not.
Damn. Well, I'm done. I ain't seeing it.
I only heard
they have to disconnect. He has to. Is Yoda in this one? And I don't think so at all. He has to. There's a disconnect there. It's not going to be Johnny Everybody that's from the Star Wars universe. It'll be the select few. And my dog Vades is one of them.
Yoda will be on my doorstep for Christmas with his candy cane lightsaber. So if you want to see him there,
can you dress him up and put him in front of the camera like you usually do every week and assume that he's Louse?
Yeah, I gotta purchase him first. Okay. I know where he's at.
Save your money, please don't.
In the essence of time, because I do believe we are about at our time, I'm going to just go ahead and cap it and say we're going to move on now to our second ever, guys. Some of you may not have been aware of this. We are going to move into our second ever live after show. So every show we will have an after show. We will put it out through Periscope, and you can find us at Brewmasters Club on Periscope. And please follow along if you want to. We're going to have some fun conversation. We kind of just fuck around and talk for 5 or 10 minutes. It tends to get out of control, but please do check us out there to join. We do this every Thursday, so usually Thursday by 10 p.m. We are definitely messing around on Periscope, but good conversation, guys. Thank you very much to everybody for listening. Ryan, you want to let the good people know where they can find you and keep along with us here?
Yeah, definitely. Everybody, you can find me on the Twitter machine at BroodBoy813, and send us some questions. Let us know what's going on over there. See if we can answer something for you or talk about something in the following weeks. That'd be awesome.
Ryan, you did a good job of live kind of tweeting this, and you were on the hashtags and whatnot. I think that's a pretty cool schedule. So that is just something to say. Folks, do tweet in hashtag Brewmasters Club Cast if you want to get right on the show. Tweet at Ryan if you want to specifically answer a question or have him address something. He's really tuned in. He's taken to Twitter like a hurricane, and I love it. So please do continue that. You can always find us on Brewmasters Club Cast as a hashtag, or at the Brewmasters Club on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on everything else. There is a Amazon link below. In the description, please click that. Somehow the wizards at Amazon just give us a couple bucks if you buy something after you click that. Doesn't cost you any money at all, but it's fantastic, and we just love the way that magic works. Lousman, where can the good people find you, my friend?
You can definitely find me at Mr. Lousman, and feel free to tweet some questions. Actually, I prefer statements, so just go ahead and just state what you got going on, and I will just figure it out from there. So yeah, statements, questions, things like that. Anything about the podcast, love to talk about it. Anything outside of that, keep it to yourself. But other than that, just feel free to hit me up. Love to talk to you, interact, things like that. So, yep.
Fantastic. And last but not least, Mr. Dane, where can the good people find you?
You can find me on the Twitterverse at DT Mirt. Let's get this hashtag Louse as a pumpkin trending. Hey, if you
Ryan,
if
did
you
you
follow
send it
me,
out already?
I think somebody else sent out that.
I spelled it. I tweeted it.
I got my
I misspelled it. I used a Nancy instead of a Mike, but I just retweeted Louse as a pumpkin, spelled correctly. Let's get that trending, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we can put out right there now, good listeners of ours, please, if you can tweet that hashtag, if we can get 100 tweets, just 100, it's very easy to do. Louse will do an entire podcast with a pumpkin on his head.
Yep.
And we'll cut out the eyes like a regular carved pumpkin, and he will do the podcast exactly like that. That is all we have today for you folks. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. I get to carve the eyes, but yes, I mean, absolutely. An entire pumpkin on my head.
Yep. I'll buy him the pumpkin. We'll put it on his head. It'll look just like that picture. That
it won't have a pirate hat. No one. I'm sorry. Well, actually, for 200 likes, it will have a pirate hat. Actually, no, honestly, for 200 likes and for 200 retweets, it will have a pirate hat. It will not have the. That's got a knife. There's some legalities in there, but. For 200 likes, it will have the pirate hat. For 100 likes, it will have no hat whatsoever. So, you guys, it's on you now. At this point, if you feel like you're such a jerk, you don't want me to have a hat, that's on you. If you don't want to like this, that's on you. But I'm not going to stop you from wanting me to have a hat. So that's on you.
Then
okay.
Wow,
so more like this, right?
If we're talking mustache modification, that's 300. All right. So don't even, unless you're ready to get serious. If we have some listeners out there who are ready to get serious, let's go 300. You got 300 listeners, likes, views, whatever. Let's go.
Okay. Well, with that said, everyone, join us for the after show on the hell is it called? Periscope, right? On Periscope, join us for the after show, and please do, chime in, give us some questions, tell us how much you love us or you hate us. We'll answer it either way. We do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, and we're gonna go ahead and sign off. We'll see you guys next week. We've got Food and Wine that's online. We've got our tour of Epcot. It's great. There's a lot of stuff on there. Check us out on YouTube. There's great video and there's great audio, of course. We will talk to you guys soon. Halloween episode is coming, thanks to me and Ryan. It's very long, and we will edit it soon, but we love you guys, and we'll talk to you next week, all right? Everybody stay frosty. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of the Brewmasters Club, Craft Brews and Geek News. Grab a beer with the guys and be sure to subscribe to catch additional content. Add this podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. Chat with the guys on Twitter at Brewmasters Club and Facebook and online at www.brewmasters.club. Cheers!